While a thrilling flat racing season's been taking place in the UK and beyond, the stars who'll enthrall future crowds of thousands have been continuing their development at Tweenhills Farm. And the next crucial stage is the process of weaning them from their mums.
This is a really busy time of year for us all, and it used to be quite a traumatic time of year because obviously we're separating mother and foal. In the past it used to be a great deal more traumatic than it is now, because the traditional way of doing it was bringing the mare and foal into a box and then leaving the foal in the box and taking the mare away. And the foal would run around the box like the wall of death for a few days and then hopefully finally settle down. But a lot of them develop vices and bad habits as a result. Now what we do, almost exclusively use the creep feeds. So that's the metal frame you'll have seen in some of the earlier footage, and basically the mares can't get in and only the foals can. So the foals learn to feed independently of their mothers, and after they've got used to that system they start taking a bit less milk. But when we come to wean them, we wean them at feed times. The foals are all in the creep feed. When they look up, their mother's gone, and because they're busy eating they go back to eating. This works really well. We've used it right throughout the last decade or so at Tweenhills, and I'm pleased to say that the results are more than satisfactory. We've had a bit of trouble this year with the creep feeds thanks to Bellini. Bellini, as you will know, is the coloured mare who is Just the Judge's foal's foster mother. She has worked out, being obviously a great deal more intelligent than the thoroughbreds, if she goes down onto her knees she can crawl through and get into the creep feed and then make merry with the foal feed. Over the next couple of months these foals will grow like weeds. They're living on the best ground and being fed supplementary feed to boost all the minerals and vitamins and proteins that they need to help them grow at a good level rate right the way through the autumn. At the moment I've been put on the spot and asked what my favourite is. Obviously the Simple Verse is a beautiful foal. The Dark Angel La Rioja looks to me to be very, very fast. The Churchill Windfire is all quality, big scopy filly, but I'm afraid you're going to be hard pressed to find a better foal anywhere than the Galileo filly out of Just the Judge. She's absolutely, she's an oil painting. She's pretty much the perfect filly, really, and I don't know what else you'd want in a top-class thoroughbred.
Meanwhile, Victoria's out on the farm overseeing the weaning process.
Usually we go on a time scale, and then after, if we're going to wean early, we normally go because they're getting too heavy or their joints are struggling a little bit and things like that. But normally we just go with time and let them tell us if they need to be weaned before that. I'd say this one probably won't even notice she's gone. She's got all her friends and she'll finish her breakfast and probably she might go over to the gate with us, but that'll be about it.
Victoria and the team have been closer than anyone to this year's foals, and she has plenty of thoughts on each of them.
Simple Verse was one of the first ones that we started recording. He has been weaned probably a month, 6 weeks now. He's very much turning into the spitting image of his mother. Probably the decision to make whether he goes to the sales or whether we keep him is the next sort of port of call with him. Windfire was our Churchill filly. She's done everything right. I'd say more than likely she will be the type of filly that will be kept on. Her 2-year-old half-brother is in training with Joseph O'Brien this year and has won and is running Royal Ascot as well, I think. Wakila's Dubawi colt, he's done well. He's probably a typical maiden foal. Hopefully that won't hinder him as he gets older. La Rioja was our Dark Angel filly. She has completely changed colour from the foal you've seen at the start. She has progressed really well and there's been no problems so far with her. Stroll Patrol was our Havana Gold filly. She is also another one that is one of our biggest fillies through the year. She has always had a little bit more of an issue with being a bit top heavy, so she was weaned earlier than we normally would have weaned any of the rest of them. So after she was weaned, she did lose a little bit of that weight and improved. Probably both mother and father are a little bit more top heavy, and it's just her general build and makeup. Lightning Pearl her values probably increased since she first was born in the loss of Deep Impact. So she's probably quite a rare filly to have around now. She's progressed nicely here and she's done really well.
And it seems that Just the Judge foal has also caught Victoria's eye.
She obviously had probably a tough time of it over the first 2 months of her life, with going in and out of hospital with the mare and losing her mother and things, and having to have Bellini as her new mother. You wouldn't even notice the difference in her and any of her other age groups. She's very much the same size and same build, and has just progressed and hasn't really taken any of the problems that she's encountered too difficult. She's always been the sort of the princess, and she has her own little character too. And I don't think it's not just because she is Just the Judge. She is just genuinely one of those foals that you get fond of each year. There's always a couple, and she's one of those this year.
And while Victoria and the team naturally grow close to the foals, they also know they are playing a key part in what is only the very beginning of their lives. So, as the foals enjoy the last of their first summer and grow used to being apart from their mums, the sun sets on another stage of their development. And we'll be back before the end of the year for the next episode of Follow the Foals.